All right, let's talk about something we all take for granted until we can't. You know, that hidden network of pipes running behind your walls and under your floors. It's totally essential, but we almost never give it a second thought until it fails, and fails spectacularly. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden world of your home's plumbing. And trust me, it's a way bigger deal and faces more challenges than you probably imagine.
So let's set a scene. I want you to picture this. It's 2 a.m., you're fast asleep, and then you're jolted awake by this sound, the sound of rushing water. Your heart just drops, right? It's the dead of night, your basement is flooding, and you know every single second counts. That's the moment a little plumbing issue turns into a massive crisis. And believe me, it happens way more often than you'd think. And here's why. See, your home's plumbing isn't just static. It's not just sitting there. It's actually in a constant knockdown, drag-out fight. A fight against three really powerful enemies. You've got the crazy swings of the climate, the chemistry of the water itself, and just the relentless march of time. So let's go ahead and pull back the drywall, metaphorically speaking, and really see what this hidden network is dealing with day in and day out. I mean, think about it. Every single time you turn on a faucet, flush the toilet, run the dishwasher, this whole complex system of supply lines and drains and vents, it all has to work together perfectly. It's like this silent, tireless servant in your home, always there, bringing in the good water and taking out the bad 24/7. Okay, so to really get a grip on the battle your pipes are up against, we're going to zoom in on a specific place. A place with some of the absolute toughest conditions you can imagine for plumbing. Rochester, Minnesota. Seriously, what happens there is basically a masterclass in how the climate can just beat up on a house. So, in a place like Rochester, these threats are just relentless. You've got these brutal winters where water freezes and expands with enough force to literally split a metal pipe open. Then you've got a lot of older homes with pipes that are just slowly rusting away from the inside. And as if that wasn't enough, the area's got super hard water, which leaves behind these mineral deposits that choke the whole system. It's like arteries hardening over time. And here's the kicker, it is not just an old house problem. Nope. You go to the historic neighborhoods and yeah, you'll see those old galvanized pipes rusting out, cutting off the water flow. But then you go to the newer developments and they're modern PEX plastic pipes. The connections can fail when they're hit with Minnesota's insane temperature swings. So really, no era of home is totally safe. So with all these different pressures coming from every direction, where do things actually break? What are the most common points of failure? Let's take a look at the anatomy of a real plumbing problem. Okay, this chart really breaks it down for us. The number one culprit taking up 35%, frozen and burst pipes. I mean, with that kind of climate, no big surprise there, right? But check out the rest. Water heaters giving up the ghost because of hard water and just old age. Sewer lines getting invaded by tree roots, yikes. And of course, those old pipes finally springing leaks. It's not just one thing, it's like a war on multiple fronts. All right, let's zoom in on one of these because it's a big one. A major sewer blockage. We're talking grease, tree roots, just years and years of gunk building up until it creates what's basically a concrete dam in your main line. So, how on earth do you deal with a clog that stubborn? This is where the tech gets really cool. You know, the traditional plumber snake. It basically just punches a hole through the middle of the clog, which sure, it works for a bit, but it leaves all this gunk on the sides, so the problem just comes right back. But hydrojetting? Oh, that's a whole different ballgame. It uses an insanely high-pressure blast of water that scours the entire inside of the pipe. It blasts away everything, grease, roots, scale, and leaves it looking practically brand new. So, okay, the tools are cool, but that's just one piece of the puzzle. What about the whole experience? How does a real pro handle that panicked 2 a.m. phone call and turn it into a finished, stress-free repair? Well, there's a very clear, very structured playbook for that. It really all comes down to 3 key steps, and they're all designed to just take this stress out of the situation. Step 1, an expert comes in and finds the real root cause, not just the obvious symptom, and then lays out your options clearly. Step 2, once you give the thumbs up, they get to work and do the repair right. And finally, step 3, they test everything to make sure it's perfect, and they clean up after themselves. The whole point is to take that absolute chaos of an emergency and just bring it all under control. And you know, maybe the most important part of that whole process is this. You get a detailed upfront quote. That one thing completely changes the game. It just erases all that anxiety, that fear of a bill that's just going to keep climbing and climbing. You know the exact cost before any work even starts. No hidden fees, no surprises. That's huge.
But listen, a good repair isn't just about stopping a leak. It goes way deeper than that. It's about safety. It's about meeting standards. It's about making sure everything is legal. It absolutely has to be done by the book.
I love this phrase because it says it all. Done right, that means the fix actually works and it's going to last. And done legal, that means it's safe, it meets all the codes, and it's protecting your family and your biggest investment, your home.
And this is the official rulebook that makes it all happen. The Minnesota State Plumbing Code. It's not just a bunch of red tape. It's a collection of rules built on decades of experience. Often, bad experience. It even has specific tweaks just for Minnesota, designed to fight those exact cold climate issues we've been talking about.
So what does that actually mean for you? Well, it means you need a permit to replace a water heater so an inspector can make sure it's not leaking carbon monoxide into your house. It means the code tells you exactly how to insulate pipes to stop them from freezing. And it makes sure every single drain has a vent to keep nasty and dangerous sewer gas from getting inside. These aren't just good ideas. They are legal requirements for a reason.
Okay, so we've been through the ringer, we've seen the problems, we've seen the pro solutions. So what does this all mean for you, the homeowner? What's the big takeaway here? Let's talk about your plumbing's future.
And here it is. This might be the most important part of this whole thing. It's all about a shift in mindset. We've spent a lot of time talking about that 2 a.m. disaster, right? But the real goal is to make sure you never, ever have to make that call. Real peace of mind with your plumbing comes from being proactive, not just reacting to panic.
And the good news is, there are simple, powerful things you can actually do. Get a pro to inspect your system once a year. They'll catch the small stuff before it gets big. Don't forget to winterize your outdoor faucets before that first freeze hits. If your water's hard, seriously, look into a water softener. It'll save your pipes and all your appliances. And maybe the most important tip of all, make sure everyone in your house knows exactly where the main water shutoff valve is and how to turn it. That one little piece of knowledge can turn a full-blown catastrophe into just an inconvenience. So next time you're in your quiet house and you hear that faint sound of water running through the walls, just pause for a second and think about the story those pipes are telling. Are they humming along, new and healthy, or are they old and creaky, struggling against years of corrosion and mineral buildup? Because understanding their story, that's the absolute first step to making sure it's a long story with a very, very boring, uneventful ending.